Hey guys, um, it's good to be chilling and playing music. I have wanted to make another video explaining the evolution or the next steps that I have added into my musical grammar language system, into the system of my new musical grammar or my new musical language that I'm creating in post-tonal music that is led by Counterpoint. So when I say that, I mean I do my music generally from local pitch fields, and there'll be local pitch fields, and the local pitch field is like the vehicle, and then I use those local pitch fields instead, pitch center fields, instead of using keys and instead of using um, chord progressions too, instead of using chord progressions that are already academically concrete. And so what I do is the local pitch center fields are like the vehicle that I play, but the vehicle needs a driver. And so I mutate and decorate the local pitch center fields with non-species post-tonal counterpoint. And so the counterpoint is what drives the melody. It's what suspends time in some sense. Not actual time, but like musical time. So I just wanted to say um, that's the gist of what I explained in the video yesterday. There's a video I wrote yesterday, or a video I had made yesterday, that explains the complete linear aspect of my musical theory approach of how I improvise and play piano. But now there's a vertical aspect that I want to add, an architectural vertical aspect that I want to add, because doing it that other way is based off of mostly colors, and it's autonomous, different from making music from pre-concrete or from concrete or pre-planned structures of chord progressions and scales. It's modal, but it's not uh, made in a pre-architectural way. But I do want to add more of a tonal, not completely tonal, but more of a tonal, colorful quality to my linear way of doing local pitch center fields, and as a vehicle being driven by non-species post-tonal counterpoint. So basically, what I have decided to do, because it seems as I'm doing the pitch center fields with the counterpoint, it seems that I'm leading towards what is it? It's Dorian inflections inside of Aeolian contexts. So it just kind of naturally leans in those ways, in various ways, to sound like in those modal contexts. So I thought, how could I explore that in a vertical musical context, in an architectural, perhaps pre-planned musical context? The linear way of doing the pitch center fields with the counterpoint is purely internal system. It's not based off of any influence of outside world, outside pre-concrete academics. It's based off of internal system. Theory, yes, but internally a system. And when I say doing non-linear, I mean, how can I bring in the architecture of some concrete theory that's academic into it? So what scales could I use? What perhaps chord progressions could I add in there? And I decided not to add chord progressions in there at all, that are pre-concrete ones, or just concrete ones, you know. So I'm just rambling at this point because this is really hard to talk about like this. Sorry, but uh, so Dorian inflections inside of Aeolian contexts. So I decided I was going to learn all the Dorian scales and learn all the Aeolian scales. And then when I'm improvising, doing the counterpoint around the local pitch center fields, I can add Dorian or Aeolian scales. For some reason, as I'm playing, the tones don't match up with the Phrygian or the Lydian or the Mixolydian or the Ionian or the major or minor scales too much. It just doesn't feel right. It transports the song, the sound into like this crazy different different tonal realm. It's like it just goes too tonal for the type of musical colors and uh, that I'm kind of chasing, I guess. Color like allegorical or symbolical, not actual. Like I don't see colors or anything when I make music, but um, I wanted to do that. So when I found that the Dorian and the Aeolian, it really is like Dorian inflections inside of Aeolian contexts. And when I play like that, which I'll make an example, I'll start sharing my songs playing like with the vertical aspect in my language. I'll start sharing those more. But when I play like that, it's almost like the Dorian has like a lighter feel, a lighter mood feel to it, and the Aeolian has a darker, more dramatic feel to it, which is obvious for anyone who plays in those modes to add color to their playing. But it's almost like within my post-tonal local pitch center field non-species post-tonal counterpoint way of playing, improvising in that way, it's almost like the Dorian is like major scales, quasi major scales, and the Aeolian is quasi minor scales. They're both dark, but one is clearly a lot lighter than the other, and that's the Dorian. I try to stick more with the Aeolian, but every once in a while, how that goes about, that's just different every time to whatever you feel to play. But basically, it's good to have some architecture added into it. It's just enough architecture that sabotage or um, it won't sabotage or dilute the local pitch center the local pitch center improvised non-species counterpoint. So to sum it up, I have a vehicle, which is the local pitch center field. Then I have the driver of the vehicle, which is the non-species post-tonal counterpoint, and then I play in that sense, and then to add to that, whenever I feel like adding architecture, I'll do Dorian inflections inside of Aeolian contexts for a vertical way. And then as I'm doing the vertical, I can mix in the counterpoint with that. And so it's like watercolor painting almost, in some weird way. So that's what I'm doing now. It's interesting to think of playing music in a linear way and in a non-linear way, a horizontal and a vertical way. Centralized pitch fields counterpoint versus architectural scales and modes being used. I think there's a simplicity in only using the Dorian and Aeolian modes right now. The Locrian modes actually work with this style of playing that I do, surprisingly, but sparingly. It's like salt. So I'm just trying to get better every day and trying to improvise better every day and develop my thesis on this. And I want to keep this consistent so that there's a large group or a corpus of material over the years, so that hopefully if someone is out there who is part of academic faculty or someone out there who sees this stuff, they'll be able to connect and relate to it and give advice and criticism and overall just yeah, so trying to think if there's anything else to say about that. I hope to use the vertical architectural modes sparingly as a way to complement the linear counterpoint that drives the local pitch center fields. That's what I hope. But that's what I hope. That's what I'm doing. So uh, you never know, though. It might go the other way where you get into architectural vertical mode for a long time, for a season, and dilute that with counterpoint. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Um, Thank you guys for listening to my music, and thank you so much for bearing with me on this thesis that I'm bringing to the table. And I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.